All right, we are live. Welcome to Hollow Hangout, everyone. My name is Chrissy. I am your host, and this week we have a special guest with us. We have Mike Pierce from Mike the Movie Guy, at Mike the Movie Guy. Hi, Mike. Welcome to Hollow Hangout.
What's up, ladies? Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. I'm gonna introduce the rest of the panel, and then I've got a bunch of questions for you.
Oh, cool.
All right. My first lieutenant, as always, is Deb. Hi, Deb.
Hi, Mike. Hello from Yonkers. Woo!
Yonkers.
Yonkers.
Yeah, we're like all over the country. Linda. Hi, Linda.
Hello from Texas.
Hey, Texas.
Woo!
Michelle.
Hello from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Hello, eyes.
And Darla.
Hello, I'm from Michigan.
Yay. And Tina. Hi, Tina.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good. What state do you live in?
I'm in Virginia.
Okay.
Coast.
Looks like I'm the only West Coaster. I'm from Seattle, so we've got pretty much a lot of the country represented, so that's good. So anyway, we did just finish watching Dark Mirrors. We'll get to that in a minute. Right now, I want to talk to Mike. He has been doing a Sleepy Hollow podcast, and it has caused controversy amongst the the Sleepyhead fandom, aka me. No, just kidding. Well, yeah, it has. Why don't you first just tell us what made you decide to do a podcast for Sleepy Hollow, and we'll go from there.
Basically, a friend of mine named Amy from Variety Radio Online. Her and I have been doing different shows. The Walking Dead. We do a bunch of different things. And when Sleepy Hollow was coming and hitting the town, we decided that would be a good show, and we jumped on it. And from season 1, episode 1,
Yeah.
and the controversy that you're talking about, my co-host Amy, she's made it very verbal that she just isn't a fan of season 3 like she was season 1 and 2, and that's what's been the craziness on Twitter, especially with you guys, with Sleepy Addicts and everything else.
Well, how do you view it? Why, you're a guy. We always want, we're all women here, so of course we're all gushing over, it could be. What is your point of view watching it? Why did you fall in love with it? What about it made you want to see it?
I think probably the whole Sleepy Hollow story that's got my attention. Of course, I mean, we all probably watched it as a cartoon in school.
Right.
And I just love the whole story of it. And so when it was coming to actual TV and seeing the Headless Horseman and Ichabod Crane and the magic and all that stuff, I was looking forward to it. So, I mean, like I've said on Twitter many times, I mean, season 1 was awesome, I thought. Season 2 was awesome. Season 3, maybe it just isn't is crazy grabbing me, kind of, because, I mean, season 1 and season 2, we had the Horsemen, and we had Katrina, and we had so much, and this one here has been dealing with a lot of Pandora and the Hidden One, Jesus Christ.
Right. Well, this season, the way that I think that they've finally decided to do it was that, seasons 1 and 2 were sort of obviously bookended, from the pilot to Tempest Fugate. It was the story of Moloch trying to bring about the end days, and the apocalypse. And so now,
which was awesome.
Yeah, it was. But how long could they really have kept Moloch? You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that they're right in doing the second tribulation now, and next season will be the third tribulation. It makes sense, so that each person, God, whatever it is that they're fighting, is trying to bring about the end of days, and the witnesses are supposed to witness 7 tribulations. I'm surprised to hear that you liked season 2, because a lot of people, yeah. Well, I mean, Listen, I liked a lot of the episodes in season 2, but there was a lot of Crane family drama that was the big issue um, amongst the Sleepyhead fandom, really, across the board.
Wow, I didn't even
You
see
didn't
that.
even know that?
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
Right? But no, I mean, like, there were the second half of season 2 I really loved. I loved all of the episodes, especially Tempest Fugit was fabulous. Um, and so anyway, so I'm confused as to why you don't like season 3, just in the sense of I feel like it was a sort of a reset. I feel like they reset the episode, the show. They had both Ichabod and Abby going their own ways, sort of apart, and then coming back together.
Right.
So, yeah, just explain a little more.
Well, I think for me, it was definitely, season 1 and 2 was a crazy fun ride, and then season 3, it's definitely not what I was expecting, and I guess, and don't get me wrong, I'm a true believer that if you're a fan of something, you can love it and hate it.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I don't hate the show. I love the show. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's just that, I was like, yeah, season 1, season 2, and then, then all of a sudden season 3 it was like, oh, where's the craziness?
The Headless Horseman. Everybody's missing the Headless Horseman. I know. I will say, I know, Michelle, you want to pop in here. Michelle loves the Headless Horseman.
Yes, I adore Headless. He's my favorite villain on the show. I wish they would go back to the Horseman storyline. That's just me, because ever since I was a girl, I was fascinated with the Headless Horseman. I'm sorry, but yeah, I get.
You love Neil.
I love Headless.
Yeah.
Well,
we all love Neil.
Mike, I have a question for Mike. Sure. Mike, did you like the first 2 seasons more because they tried to hold together some sense of source material back to the Legend of Sleepy Hollow? Was that what was carrying you? Because I know that was really important to me. I don't know if you know, I'm affiliated with the church of the Old Dutch Church in Sleepy Hollow, where the legend takes place.
Wow.
So, yeah. So for me, I was doing a lot of tweets when Katrina was still married to, when Crane and Katrina were married, and I was not an Ichabod shipper, and everyone here can tell you that. I was more concerned that the writers try to keep to the source material, even though it's different, but at least there's a kernel of truth somewhere in there. And so I got distracted, I guess, in the second season, and lost interest in the first half, picked up in the second half, and I realized they boxed themselves into a corner. They needed to do something drastic to get out of the mess that they were in. And I think, like Chrissy said, season 3 is a reboot, and I'm with Michelle. I really do think they need to bring the Headless Horseman back and that whole story arc with Abraham von Brandt, because that was the best flashbacks. Abraham, that relationship with Abraham, I think, gives a lot of depth to Crane, and also to the Headless Horseman, so that you can feel every bad guy. You got to feel some sympathy for. So I feel like when you have just the Ghoul of the Week, and you're not invested in them, you don't have the same feeling about what they're going through. And I think with the Headless Horseman, when you knew what his genesis was, it was really compelling to want to know, where is this going to lead. And being a deacon in a church, and that church in particular, I was really looking for redemption for these characters. I was looking for redemption for Katrina, for Brom, for Henry. And I think those characters were as well. If you go back and you look at their interviews, I think they thought they were on a path to redemption, and then something just got sidetracked. That's my take on seasons 1 and 2.
I can see that, definitely. I mean, because wasn't there a time where I thought I saw something online that it wasn't sure if it was going to get written, like the ratings were kind of going low? Is that?
Yeah, they were different.
Yeah.
I mean, they started the season 2 started out, I believe it was like a 1.8 it started out at, And by the end of it, it was like a 1.3, I think, was what we ended the season with. I mean, it just kept going down and down and down. And a lot of it was, too, I mean, the way that they wrote Katrina, it was just kind of like she was a damn... This is what I didn't understand about Katrina, is that she was... She was a witch, this powerful witch, but yet she was a damsel in distress every single week, and it was getting old. That part was getting old, and Michelle, did you want to say something?
Yes, I still think Katrina should have been the main villain.
Yeah, that would have been epic.
Yeah. And the story, it would have fit better, you know? Have her kill Morlock or have her working with him, and then once she got enough power, she killed him, and she took control of the horsemen, you know? Or something like that.
It would have made sense starting from season 1. She, as that character in Purgatory, she seemed to be going in a very shady, gray direction. And I really, when she kind of tricked Abby into staying in the Purgatory, that was an open door for them to just make Katrina this epic, really, you know, shady, bad character. I used to be a Katrina fan. I don't know and I did not ship Ickaby. I saw the Ickaby all through season 1, but I was determined not to ship it until I really, you know, until I thought, okay, this is for real. And it was the finale. And I thought, oh, when we come back, this whole thing is we're gonna find out all about Katrina. And then, you know, and it just didn't happen. The character just fell apart. And I was very disappointed.
Yeah. Well, I think Katya really rocked that being evil. She did fantastic. I mean, those episodes were great. Yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of potential. I personally, like, I could see them killing off Henry just because, you know, sorry, I know I love John Noble.
Oh, he was awesome.
He was
and the actor.
But, I mean, if you had to kill somebody off and kind of, then, you know, that would be Katrina's motivation to turn evil. That's where I was going with that. You know what I mean?
You know what, though? I think when Tom came on at the end of last season, and we were talking about this offline today, that not knowing if there was going to be a season 3, and at about this time of the year last year, Tom comes out and says that Ichabod is totally head over heels in love with Abby. And any person that was on the you know, sort of tenterhooks about shipping, they just went right over. I mean, we just came right over. Where else could it go, you know? I don't know if I'd feel that strongly if Tom hadn't have, like, just said it with such passion, you know? And so anyway, I think it's important they resolve this relationship one way or another, because it interferes with their ability to tell stories. When they have the fans being, you know, crazed by this and not having any resolution to it, and I don't know, it's like we can't get beyond that. So that's the downside of being a shipper, I think, you know. Right.
Well, what do you think about all this shipping? How do you feel about Ichabod and Abby, or Jenny and Joe? I love that this week. Jenny and Joe, he buys her this RV. I was like, well, you know, I thought it was romantic, but I understand what she was coming from with the boundaries. So let me hear, what do you think about all this, Mike?
I'm just, honestly, ladies, I don't care about Jenny and Joe. I don't.
We don't either.
You know, I just don't, you know, and it just, like, all their parts in tonight's episode just felt like, hey, they love each other. They love and it was like, yeah. So I don't care. You know, before there was like a level for me. It was like Pandora and the Hidden One and Joe and Jenny. Now Joe and Jenny are the high on my list. I cannot.
Oh, that's so funny.
I can't take them. And Ichabod and Abby, I've been saying that since day one. Like, they're gonna kiss, and my co-host on my podcast, he was like, "No, I don't want them to kiss because it'll ruin the show."
No, it won't.
It won't.
And yeah,
it won't ruin it, because this is the reason that it won't ruin it. I know people, and some of the people from the show have even said that. Oh, it'll ruin it. It will not ruin it. I mean, because first of all, you know, I mean, it needs to be a subtle thing. I mean, I don't need a big, huge thing, whatever. They're living together already. You know they're going to end up together, whatever. I know, Michelle. I think
Sorry, sir.
that's okay. I think that it'll be a balancing act for them if they do that by the end of the season, going into season 4. It would be balancing professional, personal, and their witness duties. I think that it's sort of a little bit like, I'm going to say, Castle, Bones, all these shows. Well, all these shows have their leads and they figure it out. And ultimately, I think that, only they could, because you can't be truthful with anybody except each other because of the path that they're on. That's what it boils down to. I just can't even imagine. I mean, I don't know. That's where I'm at with the whole thing, and I think it'll be fine, and it's not going to interfere with anything. It's just going to make the connection deeper, I think.
So, do you guys want them to get together to improve the show, or are y'all like, you know what? If it does, it does. We don't care. What do y'all want?
I know, I personally, if it ends without it won't make sense for it to end without them being together. It will be disappointing for me. I'm still enjoying the show, but it will really be disappointing in the end because I kind of like, they're my favorites. It's when things were really bad, they're the reason why I stuck in there. And it won't ruin it because they're already doing most of the things that people in serious relationships are doing. They've got each other's back. They take care of each other. They're living together. When they have something meaningful to say, I mean, you're my Wilson. You were the voice. I heard your voice in the darkness, and I felt it's already there. Only thing that's missing is that they haven't kissed and they haven't actually said, I love you. So if they just do that, and then everything else can be the same. They're already doing it. They're just not giving. They're just not making it canon. They're not giving us that last little nugget. But everything's already been there. They've been dating since season 1. They're living together. They care more about each other than anybody else. They make each other smile. And she doesn't get annoyed when he brings up all of the Jefferson and the Ben. She's just like, it's cute to her. It might annoy us sometimes, but Abby gets him. And he gets her, and that's just so, they're so right there. They just won't give us that last little bit.
Exactly. And, I mean, let's hear from Darla. I haven't heard from you yet. What are your thoughts on all that?
On what? Shipping? Well, obviously, I want them together.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense. Well, I am rather curious about the direction that they're going right now, because it does look like they might end up together by the end of the season. At least that's the trajectory that I see.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like Ichabod and Abby versus Joe and Jenny, like how Joe and Jenny are right now with like their lovey-dovey relationship, I know a lot of people like it, so I'm wondering, do you guys want to see Ichabod and Abby in that type of situation? Would that be doable when you say subtle? Or do you want something more than that?
No, I want it to be subtle. Like, I don't...
What's subtle, though? I guess that's where I'm a little...
Like, for instance...
That's what I'm wondering.
Would be, the little double date. Like, they were supposed to all go see E.T. That's a couple thing. That's something that... Or maybe they go out to dinner or so. I mean, they're all doing this already. So I don't need anything other than their admittance and a kiss. I'm good with that.
I gotta ask.
That's what Joe and Jenny do right now. So would that be fine with you?
No, I don't
think that we want. We've been waiting for it to be.
I know what I'm saying, because I know. I get that, but I'm saying because I know Chrissy likes that couple. So would that be fine? Would that be fine for you if Ichabod and Abby behave like that?
Well, this is what I would like to see. When they've had a hard day, like last week, when, Jenny and Joe, they, hold each other, whatever. I mean, when you're having a horrible day like that, and I wouldn't mind seeing that once in a while, but I certainly don't need to see it every single episode. I mean, it needs to be just done here and there so that we're not like, I don't know. You know me, I love it, but I know other people don't. What are you?
Can I say something? Oh, Linda hasn't said anything. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Nothing is forced about this relationship, and that's what's so incredible about it. It has been an organic growth, and it's. I mean, I think that the Jenny Joe thing was kind of sprung on us, maybe to be a diversion, a tactic of diversion. But they're kind of like kids. They're acting like kids. They're having fun like kids. But the witnesses see a very dark world that they have to fight every day, and I think they're very sober in how they look at their relationship. They're not going to go off and spend a day napping. I don't think that's going to happen. So as much as we love. But I think it's a very sober, very real, very organic relationship that's just happened over time.
Well, yeah, and they've written it that way from the get-go. I'm sorry, but from the moment that they met, it was because of Tom and Nikki's chemistry.
Well, I think Tom and Nikki have been playing it that way. I don't know, the writers have been writing, but these two have been acting this. So, I mean, I think they're great. They're great.
I mean, that would be if I ever got a chance to talk to them again. I mean, that's my first question. What exactly is written, and what is it that you guys infuse into these scenes? Because the chemistry is so there, but it's also there if you're watching Mahari, if you go to the panel, if you see them in person, if you get to talk to them in person. That's how they are in person too. They have this little eye thing going on with the looks and the little fist pumps, and so. I mean, that's just who they are. They just are. I don't know, and it is natural. What do you think about that, Mike?
I don't know. I just think if they kiss, that would be cool. That would be cool. I just want to see I just want to see the internet explode, just like it did for The Walking Dead when Michonne and Rick slept.
Yeah.
That was the best thing ever.
So I think the problem that I have when characters like my favorite characters sleep together and get that, to me, it's a distraction, and there's a chance now, that if, I don't know, I just want them to kiss, get it over with, sleep together, and then be done with it, and let's fight creatures and save the earth. That's what I want.
Yeah. That is such a male response. I love it. Let's do it, and then let's move on.
Exactly.
I don't know. Like I said, I used to watch Charmed, and I love Charmed, and so you had Leo and you had Piper. They were married. They had magical kids. And they had steamy, you knew that they were in love, and their kisses and stuff weren't bland and boring. But, you still had monsters. They did their love thing, and then they moved on, and they were able to fight, so they were able to keep it in perspective. I do, for my opinion, when they do kiss, I want it to be passionate. I can't stand a bland kiss, not in my own personal life and not on TV. I mean, I am not a fan of block kisses. So I want them to bring it. I mean, I don't want, they shouldn't have to have any X rating on there, and there shouldn't be anything like that. I want them to really bring it when they kiss. And when they're together, I want to see Ichabod as attentive to Abby, more so than he was with Shady.
Yeah, me too.
I really do, because this entire time, Abby does everything for him. I mean, she mothers him. I mean, tonight, her kissing on his head, I was like, oh my God, I am so loving it. So,
did you see my tweet, Linda? I said, nobody's responded to it yet because I think it got buried, but hopefully someone will find it. I said, the pietà is the position of choice for Crane and Abby.
Yes, it
Think
is.
about it.
I'm like, how about that? I can't believe they said that. And so I want them to be very, very, I want them to be passionate. I mean, I don't think that we're going to see episodes of them, shopping all day long and
No, they're not. That's
staring
not.
into each other's eyes. Do that in between fighting ghouls, and I think that it would bring it even more so.
Yeah, I think they could easily do it in their little domestic moments like we've had with on the porch and in the kitchen. It could be easily just give us those little bits here and there, and I think the fandom will be very, very happy with that. And then the people that are nervous about it ruining everything won't feel like it's overshadowing. Let them keep doing what they're doing. Let them keep fighting the demons, and let them have their relationship when they go home.
Exactly.
It'll work. It'll be fine. I know. That when a few months ago, I think it was over the summer maybe, someone had a fan art with Abby laying on the couch and Ichabod was reading a book. That was the cutest thing. And so then when Joni got that sofa thing, I was just like trying not to be bitter, trying not to be bitter. Like that was ours. They take everything and give it to somebody else. They already gave away the Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I mean, come on, stop taking our stuff.
We need to see stuff like that, I mean, just cute stuff. Listen, we already get the cute stuff. I mean, he made a candlelight dinner for her, for God's sake.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Whoa. She made the dinner, but she totally dissed him.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't even bring it up, 'cause I was really upset that she didn't accept it, and she didn't even sip the wine after he toasted her, which I was like, oh my God. Okay, been dying to ask you this.
She's going to the gun range, though.
Darling. Go ahead.
She was going to the gun range, though, so she wouldn't be drinking wine. Wine and guns are not like a good combination.
I didn't think of that.
I heard it. Anyway. But anyway, I was gonna ask you, Mike, what were your thoughts on oh gosh, I just left my train of thought. Dang it. Anyway, sorry.
Mike, what do you think about Pandora as the big baddie this season, and the hidden one kind of being the esoteric big baddie?
And abuser, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I in the beginning of, I've seen the actress and a bunch of different stuff, and same with the guy. He was in 300. Yeah, he gets. So, I think for them, honestly, I just haven't been a fan of these two.
Really?
Yeah, it just Pandora just didn't do it for me. The hidden one, I still don't know.
We still don't know what their plan is. Like I'm annoyed because that is the one thing that I'm annoyed with so far, is just that we're down to what, 6 episodes left, 5 episodes left, whatever. 5 episodes left after tonight. What's the freaking plan? I mean, okay, they've got all these demons coming in. So what? They're just going to have to fight these demons? I mean, I don't understand what the takeover is. I don't understand that, and it's kind of irritating me that we don't know yet. I mean, he sits in his little thingy and
he's looking for power. I think he's looking for them to bring him power. Like tonight the Jersey Devil was bringing him that alchemic concoction so he could have the hourglass, which I'm not quite sure. I missed a whole section there tonight with tweeting that I got so confused when they did the little movie flashback. It looked like Pandora took the box, and then when she opened the box,
she let out all of the...
She let out the stuff, and he disappeared, and I thought, well, did she destroy him?
Well, she trapped him.
She trapped him, right? So why does he love her? And then somebody tweeted on something about his brother.
No.
The hidden one's brother, so I got very confused.
Okay.
He is the brother?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was going to say...
I'm like, you know what's going on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I took it as, it's kind of like Zeus and whatchamacallit, Hades. I figured they were showing the good brother, the light that was sitting there, and I think he convinced Pandora to take the box up there, and if you open it, he kind of did it in a slick kind of way, like, if you take this up there, it'll take out, my brother, and I can come up, and she was in love with him anyways, and that's how I took it. And when she came up, she released it. The evil killed the brother, which brought him back, but then it did say something that humanity pulled him back from where he was at and put him back to where he back to where, down and below where he was at.
Well,
so that, I think the plan backfired. That's what I took as.
Well, it's in Greek mythology. That's what it is. In the Greek version, Pandora was Zeus that gave. Oh my God, I can't think of the brother's name. Whatever. Anyway, it was one of his sons. He was upset with him because he gave the humans fire, and Zeus did not want that. And so as punishment, he created Pandora. And Pandora was given this box, this box from the gods that supposedly had all these gifts in it. When she married, I think it was Hermes. She married Hermes, if I'm right. I don't know if I'm right on that name, but anyway. And she was so enraptured by this box. What did the gods give her? That she opens the box and she inadvertently lets out all the evils onto the world. That's what it is. But then she closes it and leaves hope. So this is sort of the twisty version, the twistery version from Sleepy Hollow. That basically, it's the same kind of story, only she got rid of the brother, in other words.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, this episode, for them, I think this was the first episode that I actually started liking or was interested in Pandora. Because I know somebody said earlier that my friend Amy and one of y'all right now just said that I think just in the past couple of episodes it seemed like he's definitely not very nice to her. And
yeah.
you know.
Really takes her power and leaves her bleeding from the eyes. I mean, what the hell is that? I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. And speaking of Amy, so I want to talk about Amy for a minute. I know she's watching. Hi, Amy. I need to know, are we watching the same show? Because I just wonder. I can see some of the little things that she says she sees. Do you want to comment on that?
Well, you know, Amy's just I don't know what to say about her. There are times where I'm like, what are you watching? But I know, but she is one of those fans that, I mean, she's hardcore. I mean, she's and I think she gets really mad when things don't go a certain way, something like that. But yeah, I mean, both of us have been trying to figure out, like you guys, what's the plan? Like we're almost to the finale, and we're still you're calling all these demons, and then but where are they at, and what's going on? And you know, I don't know. Tonight was the first sign of hope. Okay.
Now we're cooking.
Yeah.
In the fan next week. But okay, I just want to talk about this episode real quick. We're only going to keep you 20 minutes. It's been a while, but let me just ask you, what did you think about the fact that Abby finally asked Ichabod for help with her PTSD?
I think that was cool. It was about freaking time. Because the past couple of episodes, I've been really angry at Abby because, you know, she was totally turning herself off to everybody, including Crane. And there was Crane being all nice and sweet and everything else, and it really bothered me that she didn't taste the meal. He spent all day working on that freaking dinner, and then I'm gonna go for a jog and go shoot some bullets. But I was just.
Flowers on the table, red wine. He slaved over a hot stove for this meal, and she walks away. I was like, no.
And I get it. I mean, maybe it was the symbol, but it's just I don't know. Yeah. I just think it's if it was reversed, she would be mad at Crane for not being honest.
Totally. Can you imagine? It would be the wrath of Abby.
Yes. No, I think I'm glad, and I think it was. You know what? And the cool thing about that part there. To me, it felt sincere. It wasn't like a lie or half.
Very much sincere.
She really needed, almost like an addict. You know? And,
yes.
So I enjoyed that part, and I was like, finally. And because I think he had known, him and Jenny kind of could tell that something was up.
Yeah, Jenny. Yeah, she even said, and you know, I just really think that today was the start of her opening up finally. I mean, she's just kept everybody at arm's length at this point. And I also wonder, what did you think about bringing Papa Mills on last week?
Papa Mills. Oh, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell he's doing too. I don't. Yeah.
No, what do you think? I mean, like, we think that, well, at least I think anyway, that he's got his nose into, he knows exactly what's going on. I think there's a reason that he reached out to them at this point in time.
Well, yeah, I think he definitely knows something, and even isn't Reynolds' boss?
Well, Walters.
Yeah, Walter.
Yeah, Walters. He shoots freaking Atticus last week.
Yeah.
In the face.
He's actually, like, I'm calling him Sleepy Deep Throat because it was like.
I like that scene.
Sleepy Deep Throat.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I don't know what's going on, and I do think. What do you think about Downey and him pushing Abby? I mean, he keeps pushing this. You know, I'm sorry. He can tell that she is going through something, and yet he keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. And granted, you know, the boss man says you got to bring her back around, but I'm saying, dude, you need to, like, back off a little bit. I mean, that's the difference between Danny and Ichabod. Ichabod isn't pressuring her, and he is.
Well, I think Reynolds, probably half of it has to do with his boss, and then I think maybe that's Reynolds' way of, like, in some kind of weird stalkish boyfriend kind of way, like, come back to the force so I can watch over you and take care of you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while my boss wants you to do stuff, so I don't know. I don't know if I wanted to like Reynolds. I just don't trust him all the way.
Neither.
Yeah. I don't.
I feel like he doesn't know who she is, and that's the other weird thing. If he is working as part of this sort of leveled, there's different levels of people within this secret war that are, you know, involved, that know what's going on. I think it's bizarre that they haven't told him that she's a witness, or, you know, does he even realize why he's supposed to be watching her, being a mentor? I don't think he knows. I think that's kind of strange, you know, and I think he needs to get on board, man.
Yeah, I don't know about Reynolds, and he's kind of, I don't trust the guy.
All over the place.
I do like him as a character. I like complex characters that aren't like 100% good, 100% bad. So I do like that about his character. But what I don't like is that he definitely manipulates her. You know, I need her to come back to the force. So my feeling's this, and remember I loved you this. Come on back. I need you, but I'll move on if I have to. That's kind of manipulative. When he knows that he's spying on her.
It's all about Danny.
It is about him.
It's about
all about Danny. No, Danny is the most underutilized character as a regular this season, and I'm hoping these last 6 episodes. Is it 6 or 5? How many left?
Now,
Anyway, this last batch of episodes has more of a role for him, or more of why we've been watching him whine. Because I feel like he's been whiny and wanting and needing her, and it upsets me, you know.
Well, ladies, you have to remember though, they did sleep together, and Abby could have, you know, really put it on them.
How do we don't know if he manipulated that too. You know, we don't know if he was put in Quantico with her at the same time.
That's true.
Because some power that B needs something that Abby has. What does Abby have? She's a witness. So I really think that guy Jack, is that his name, Jack?
Yeah, Jack Walters.
You know, one of our friends online, Matt, really thinks Jack is probably a good guy, you know, like maybe a Mason or something like that. But I don't think he would have shot Nevins that way if he was a good guy.
I don't think he would have sent Nevins after to get the information from the witnesses. Nevins almost got the witnesses killed. So what are you up to, Walters? How are you so good? I mean, I think he might be one of those shady area characters, or working for some middle ground team that's not all evil, not all good either. But he sent Nevins to get that file, and Nevin's almost got the witnesses killed. You know, so how good can you be?
Right. Well, Mike, we've kept you. I mean, we have some other stuff we're going to talk about. Do you want to stick around, or do you want to?
It's up to you guys. I can just kind of sit back a little bit and let y'all.
We want you on. I mean, we need a guy's point of view on all. That's what I think. All right, cool. All right, so I just wanted to bring up a couple things really quickly, if I can get to my notes here. Just a couple of things. I wanted to bring forth the oh yeah, so the 7+ day ratings were 75%. Was that right? I think it was 75% more than the ratings, which brought it to a 1.4 for, I guess it was not last week's episode, the week before, which I think was the Kindred Spirits, right? I believe that was.
Yeah.
I thought it was for.
So keep doing what you're. Yeah, so keep doing what you're doing, Sleepyheads. Please, if you've DVR'd it, you need to watch it. But let the commercial, the ads run, because it doesn't count if the network doesn't get credit for the ads. So just please do that, or watch on video on demand. Yes, if you bring it up on your cable provider, the video on demand, it is calculated and sent to the network. Also, the other platforms that they're collecting is, of course, Fox.com and Hulu.com. So please keep watching and spreading the Sleepy Hollow word. So good job to everybody. I wanted to say the last of the items that people got for the fundraiser, they're going out tomorrow morning. So everybody should be out, and I can't wait for everybody to actually get them. So thank you to everybody. The total amount that we ended up donating is $1,015. So thank you for everybody, all my Hollow Hangout gals. You guys really did get. You guys, I have like multiple items for a lot of you. It cracks me up. Anyway, so very, very cool. So thanks to everybody that participated in that, and of
well, you
course,
know how it is. You donate stuff and then you buy stuff, and
yeah, I know. Well, I mean, they were autographed stuff, so of course, why not, right?
I'm waiting for my Orlando. I haven't gotten Orlando yet.
Neil Jackson stuff.
Yeah, Neil Jackson stuff, Orlando. It's the rest. No, your stuff is coming. It's going out tomorrow morning. I promise.
Okay.
You will get it.
It's okay.
You guys are last. I'm sorry. You're my
right.
competitor. You're my starch supporters, but you're last. So, anyway, and I just also wanted to give you guys the final episode titles. I don't know if everybody actually saw them. Albert Kim actually tweeted them out the other day. So the next episode is called Into the Wild. It's 3:14. 3:15 is Incommunicado. 3:16 is Dawn's Early Light. So I kind of think it might be about the American flag. So I bet you it's going to be Betsy Ross heavy. I don't know, but I'm guessing. 3:17 is Delaware. So it's going to be about the crossing of the Delaware, where Washington's famous, the picture is up in the archive, so I'm anxious to see that episode. And of course, 3:18 is Ragnarok, which, oh my gosh, we talked a little bit about it last week. I'm anxious to see how this is all going to go. And wasn't it interesting that Shannon Sossman, she tweeted out that picture with the tree? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, it's like a healthy tree, not a dead black tree.
Yeah, so what do you think of that? Do you think it's the Tree of Life? I think it's the Tree of Life.
Could be.
I'm thinking, I don't know. Anyway, so what else? There was one more thing. Oh yeah, and then the season 3 finale party we're gonna have, obviously. I did confirm that I believe it's gonna be April 8th. Friday, April 8th. and we're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, we're doing a Sleepy trivia for prizes. I have some great things this time around to give out, so we'll do that, and then of course we'll do our Hollow Hangout. We might be doing something different. I'm still working out the kinks on that. I don't know what you guys think about that, but we'll talk about that later. All right, and
I have to share something with you.
Go ahead.
I thought I read this. It's about Betsy Ross, and it's on Wikipedia, and it says. Hold on a minute, I just lost it. Oh,
attacked by the Hessians?
Yeah, there is speculation that Betsy was the beautiful young widow who distracted Karl von Donop in Mount Holly, New Jersey, after the Battle of Ironworks Hill, thus keeping his forces out of the crucial turning of the tide Battle of Trenton during Christmas 1776, in which the mercenary Hessians were defeated after the famous crossing of the Delaware River.
So that's what Delaware is
So
called.
maybe they have some twist. They're going to do a twistery around that.
Yeah, I like that.
I also know that she was actually attacked by the Hessians.
She was, yes.
Yeah,
But this puts her right in the story of the crossing of the Delaware.
Yeah, and if they could bring Death back for that, that'd be awesome.
I know.
Yeah, you know, it's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people that criticize Betsy Ross or the character Betsy Ross have not really done much research on Betsy Ross, because she actually, a lot of what where they try to put her, there are some believable, you know, it's believable that she could have been a spy. It's very believable.
it's
Not in bustier, but believable.
Yeah, I like Betsy Ross when they first brought her in. She was battling and fighting the redcoats. I like that type of Betsy Ross. I really did. But just a flirtatious, you know, with Ichabod.
Yeah.
Somebody said, I read it somewhere and I can't remember where. I'm sorry. I should have probably noted where I saw it. But that it is going to be Betsy Ross and Ichabod are just platonic during this other second half of the whatever, which this is the thing, and we've talked about this. I don't know what you think about all this, but we've had lots of discussions about it, and you know, I feel that in that very first eyewitness scene with the dogs. It's the hell.
Yes, I'm going on.
You're okay, Mike. Sleepyheads have you.
Sorry.
Like hellhound.
Somebody came home. I'm trying to find my phone.
It's all right. We hear
There
them.
we
That's all right. Oh, she dropped out. Anyway, no. So, but you know, when you know, technically the timeline, of course, for Ichabod and Katrina is 70. What was it? 75 to 1781. That 6-year period of time, and I pointed this out to the girls that I think that, you know, that little bit of time was before he was with Katrina. I mean, there is a little bit of. What are your thoughts on the Betsy Ross and the timeline and all that?
You know what? It really doesn't bother me. I mean, because one, Betsy Ross is hot, so I could understand if Crane kind of messed around.
I do.
But no, you know what? I haven't even thought about the timeline at all. As soon as she came on, I agree with what's her name here, Michelle. I think it was just good seeing Nikki Reed whoop ass.
Yeah.
And that's what I was. And I still have my fingers crossed that somehow she'll come crossover to the time frame and help out Abby.
No.
It's not happening.
I know. I can only wish. But I'm excited. I like Betsy Ross to keep doing it. In fact, I just want to see her whooping ass.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Well, Alicia joined us. She's part of our gang. Hi, Alicia.
Hi.
So she was really excited because something that she predicted or dreamed about or conjured, I don't know, came to pass. So why don't you tell everybody tell Mike how your theory came to life?
Well, last week we were talking about, Abby and the symbol, and how what I said anyway was it was a symbol of like home, peace, and like safety for her. And it's like in this episode, like they took the words. She said like all the words that I said on the Hangout episode.
Yeah.
Like she said the exact same thing I said.
It was awesome. It's like, see, your mind works just like the writer's mind. Maybe you should be in the writing room.
I know. I want to be in the writing room so bad.
Me too, but it would be naughty stuff, so they better kick me out of there.
She'd be bringing in the X-rated fans.
That's HBO.
I know. Game of Thrones, maybe. Okay.
Game of Thrones. There you go. Oh my goodness. I wanted to ask you guys what you thought of. Oh yes, this was another. I have a little thing in here. I put as Sleepy Chatter around the world of Sleepy Hollow, and this week we've been discussing a lot about the lack of the interviews.
Chrissy, just to let you know, sorry to interrupt you. Debbie says she won't be back on.
Oh, okay. She must have had some kind of crisis. Poor thing.
She said the dogs.
All right, Deb, no problem. Anyway, I just wanted to discuss really quickly about some of the chatter that's been going around social media. A lot of it has been the lack of the interviews. I guess this morning I missed it because, it would have been like 5 a.m. here. but Wake Up Atlanta went to the set this morning. And I guess everybody was disappointed. I don't know, did you guys watch it? You guys saw it, right? You didn't see it, Mike?
Nuh-uh.
I didn't see it, I just saw the tweet.
No, nobody saw it. Well, apparently people were upset on Twitter because he didn't get to talk to Tom and Nikki, which, this is the thing I just want to say, and I guess I don't understand why they have been so MIA this season as far as like interviews and stuff. Like, I guess this is the thing. We saw so much of them during season 1, and then even at San Diego Comic-Con, they were all over. They had an actual like Sleepy Hollow Oculus thing at the interactive park. They were out there for interviews and everything. And then season 2 happened, and I kind of understand, them wanting to peel back. But, with the reboot and the change in the time and the day, which has been, it was on Thursdays coming back, and now it's Fridays at 8. What do you guys think about that? I know a lot of people were kind of complaining about that. I mean, Mike, what is your thought on that?
You're probably going to kill me, but maybe they expected people to say what's happening with season 3. It's not like season 1 and 2, and maybe they're trying. I don't know. I mean,
that's the thing. And I just want to say this, and I'm not just saying for me, but I'm just saying the people, a lot of the reporters or the journalists, whatever, that are at the Comic-Con, that are, in the press rooms, are fans of the show. They watch the show. I mean, there have been a couple of people that, yes, have sat next to me that have no clue about the show, and I was annoyed by their questions. But I'm just saying, if you're a fan of the show, putting them on the spot for that, that's not what we're about. That's not what I want to know. I want to know about, how did they come up with the storyline this season? What was they came up with this whole story, and they took from the Sumerian, from the Grecian, from the all the different mythologies about Pandora. What made them come up with this? Why did they, there are things to ask that I think people would be more interested about. I just think that being afraid of the questions, I don't understand that. I don't know.
I mean, unless we're in their shoes, then we'd probably. Because to me, for me, it's not like Sleepy Hollow is like Game of Thrones, where everything is hush hush, like The Walking Dead. No one talks about certain things. I don't know. I just think maybe they.
Yeah, I mean, okay, and I will talk about The Walking Dead really quickly because I did get the chance to be in the press room for that for last year for San Diego Comic-Con. And no, they don't let you ask questions about spoilers and stuff, but I definitely was asking. I asked them about, the speech that Rick gave. He gave 2 great speeches. I talked, you ask him about, you know what I mean? You ask them about certain scenes that touched you, that they were involved in, and I don't understand.
Well, I think when it comes to that kind of stuff, unfortunately, some of the press, because I've been on that side.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it sucks because sometimes the press, you're absolutely right, they're not hardcore fans like you guys.
Right.
And so, yeah, if any of y'all had the opportunity to talk to them, y'all would probably ask some really deep, cool questions.
Right.
But some of the press people, they just don't do their homework. They don't ask, and it's just a lot easier to poke at someone to cause some type of ripple to get that going.
I mean, even like when I was, anyway, I won't even talk about it. I was so upset. We only had like 5 minutes with Lindy at the New York Comic Con, and I wanted to ask her about working with Janu Ellis, and anyway, because other people were sucking up all the air, I never even got to ask her. I was so annoyed. I was like, oh my god! Anyway, that's just I just feel like we should, I don't know. I feel like that Tom and Nikki should be on Jimmy Fallon. They need to get in front of the big, like, 18 and 49 demographic. That's our demographic. That's what we need. And I guarantee you, if Jimmy Fallon has seen Sleepy Hollow, I bet you he likes it. And, I mean, I don't understand it. Like, at least get them on Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, for God's sakes, or even Seth Meyers, which is on after Jimmy Fallon. I mean, I don't understand why they're not on these shows. I mean,
I don't know if the powers that be really understand how it affects the fandom, and then in turn how it affects the ratings. Because I'm not on Tumblr as much as I used to be, because the people on Tumblr are not into the show anymore. They feel like, and I went on there just to kind of get a feel for how they were feeling, because they're not on Twitter anymore, so we're not getting, it's hard to trend without all of them, and we're not going to win any of those couple polls without them. We're just not, because we don't, they do a lot of they have a way, they're pretty good at organizing these types of things, and they do. And so I went on just to kind of get a feel for why aren't they coming out to help us, and they're just like, one of the things that some of them were saying was that they don't think that the cast really cares. They're like, they don't care about these polls. They're like, they don't think that the powers that be care. They don't think that Tom and Nikki care. So they're just like, why am I going to put in the hours of effort, to do these things if they don't care? And that was some of the things that they were saying.
Yeah, but they're wrong. I mean,
I know, but they're not doing the interviews, and I don't want to ever push anyone or make them feel like they have to do interviews, because then that's not fun. I want them to want to do them. Season 1, the reason I'm one of the ones that the only reason why I started watching is because I saw Tom, Nicole, and Orlando doing an interview, and it was amazing. I said, okay, I'm going to get, that's for these three. These three are bringing it in an interview. I wanted to see what they were doing. So they're the reason why I started watching, why I watched the first episode. So they don't understand that is such a huge draw. And even with The Walking Dead, and every show, I really don't know any show where the cast is not out there. They don't give away the spoilers, and they laugh about it when people ask about the spoilers. They're like, they know how to get around not giving away the spoilers, but they're cute and they're fun, and it really energizes the fandom. And we don't have that right now. And then when we do get a couple people out there, they kind of crap on your ship, and it's like, well, that's not fun. I don't want to hear an actress tell me that, the reason why I watch this wouldn't work, Yeah. It's just kind of like deflating the balloon. So I need Nicole and Tom to talk about their characters. It's weird to ask it's weird to ask the other characters about some other characters.
Yeah,
it's strange.
I saw. Oh yeah, no. I felt so bad for Lindy because somebody asked her about Ickaby. It's like, why are you asking her about?
Yeah, stop asking her, please.
You gotta ask her. her storyline with Joe. I mean, what the heck are you doing? Anyway, I don't know. Linda, what are your thoughts on all that?
Oh, just like Tina said, I remember not only seeing the interview with Tom, Nicole, and Orlando, but they were doing this thing in the beginning where Fox was like having their shows, and they take the actors and have them do little silly stuff like shoot little water guns at each other and things like that. Yeah. And that was so adorable. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to watch this show. Plus, I am someone that I like supernatural shows. Mm-hmm. So you've got a supernatural show, fun cast, and the chemistry was just off the charts. And I mean, even before the first episode, you could feel their chemistry just in those little interviews that they were doing. Mm-hmm. And then in season 2, I mean, throughout season 1, season 2, they're doing these interviews. And it was amazing. So I'm wondering, is it a budget issue that they're not doing interviews? I don't get it. But I really wish that they would, because it would invigorate the fandom, and it would bring people that were gone. It would bring them back.
Yeah.
It's still an extremely fun show. Yeah. You can feel the chemistry between the leads. So you just need to get them out there. I mean, even if they can't make it to, beyond Jimmy Fallon or whatever, do another one of those little 10-minute really that they did. Yeah, the little bitty kind of interview thing that they did. Do that again, and that would help.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about having them do that, Mike?
I don't know. I mean, because if they're not, it is kind of weird that they're not doing interviews, and that's their publicist, or it could be the studio, who knows. But for them not to do interviews, I think that's I mean, someone in their camp has to be telling them, you need to be doing this because your fans want to see you out there. But I don't know. I mean, let me ask you a question to throw it back on y'all. But if you guys are going on Tumblr and you're seeing that people are not feeling this and they're not doing interviews and this and this and this and that, I mean, is there any part of you guys of a little fearful that the show isn't as grabbing as the first 2 seasons? I mean, if you really look at it, Sleepy Hollow, in my eyes, is Headless Horseman, magic, all that stuff, because that's what it was. And don't get me wrong, I think it's cool with the mythology and the gods and everything else, but that's not Sleepy Hollow. It's a total different thing. So I'm just trying to figure out with you guys, I mean, is there any part of you guys that are thinking that maybe? I mean, how closer is it to get renewed to season 3? Is there a chance it's going to get renewed? But I don't know, because I keep hearing you guys talk real positive about it, and trust me, I got my fingers crossed too. But I mean, if the masses are out there and they're not behind it, that's not a good thing.
Right.
Yeah. And what I get is a lot of them are still watching. Some of them aren't watching. They're kind of just waiting for they're waiting for the end to kind of see what happens. And I think they've just been kind of burnt. Some of them said that they felt burnt out. Some of them felt that they've been burned by, I guess, the showrunners. So everybody's just kind of like laying back and waiting. But that bigger, we've got to tweet everything and we got to Tumblr everything. That's really kind of died down significantly, and you can tell. I mean, the Twitter tag used to just be lit up all the time. Trending wasn't even an issue. We just knew we were going to trend. We didn't have to think about it. I don't know. They're there. They're there. A lot of them are still watching. They're just very quiet now. They're not excited yet, and they don't feel like. I don't think they feel like that the showrunners or anybody cares if they're there or not.
Well,
Tina, you got to realize, last season 1 and season 2, we had Orlando Jones on Twitter.
Yes, and Yeah.
Interacting with the fans. Nikki, she tweeted every so often. Jenny tweeted a little bit here and there. Neil Jackson and Orlando Jones, they were very active with the fans.
Yep.
You know, you have to give them credit. And you don't have somebody from the show constantly talking to the fans, getting them excited about the episodes coming up. The writers are trying, but it's not the actors. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we see the actors, we don't see the writers. You know what I'm saying? On screen.
Right.
But if it was like maybe Jenny or maybe Zach or maybe Nicole stepped up the plate, you know, tweeted more, was more interactive with the fans, we might have better ratings. But, you know, losing Orlando Jones, you know,
losing Orlando was a huge blow, and
It really was.
I wish he would come back, just even for a little while. Come back. Darla, what do you think about that?
This whole thing bothers me.
Yeah, I know.
It's, you know, being on Tumblr and seeing how hard it is for some of the gift sets and posts to trend, and they used to trend a lot easier than they do now because people aren't reblogging and making posts like they used to.
Right. Well, you know, and I will say we were #1 trending, by the way. I don't know, did we say that? I don't think we said that at the beginning of the show. We were on top, so we did trend today. We trended, I think it was Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We on Friday, I noticed since we've moved to Fridays, trending's been a lot easier on Twitter than when we were on Thursday. And even in season 2, we didn't always trend.
Yeah.
When it got really bad, once it started really bad, we had a hard time trending because people were just not feeling it.
Right. So at least for this season, for this half of this season, it's been a lot better on Twitter.
Yeah.
But as far as the other social media sites, it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's definitely different.
I just want to double check I don't know if anybody sent us any questions before we end up ending the show. Hold on a minute. Well, here's some comments. Jenna Myers said, I found we tweet during the week, but we don't always use our hashtag Sleepy Hollow or hashtag it could be a Renew Sleepy Hollow tag. That would help, and I agree. We're always, I mean, and I'm a culprit. I mean, I always try to at least use hashtag Sleepy Hollow. But when we're answering each other and all that, I mean, the idea is to keep Sleepy Hollow front and center always. And you know, and that's one of the things. Let's see. I don't think we have any questions. I don't know. We're not worthy enough for questions. I know some people did try to tweet me, but I haven't been able to keep up. I'm sorry.
Maybe that's a sign that season 3 is not as good as the first and second one.
Yeah, see?
Let me, season 2, let me comment on season 2 real quick. I love season 1, don't get me wrong, I love season 1, but season 2 was not that great. In my eyes. I think
season 2 had its moments.
I think they made Headless too sappy in season 2.
Yeah,
I agree.
It had like
the flashbacks, I really did, but Abraham with Katrina, I was not feeling it. So, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, they were in bed, but anyway, I won't even go there. Anyway,
I was not a big fan of season 2.
Go ahead. Were you going to say something, Mike?
No, I mean, I was going to say, season 1 was dope, and season 2, I think the thing that attracted me to the show a lot also is I'm a huge fan of Supernatural, and I think. And I think that's what I was looking forward to is like, and I think that's what I miss from season 3 is like the different creatures, because I love the different type of special effects and the creatures they were coming up with. And I think that's what I really enjoyed out of 1 and 2. And then, of course, the Headless Horseman, and then, Moloch and all that stuff was just awesome. And then, like I said, this one here, with Pandora, I don't, maybe tonight's episode, in my opinion, because now I'm like, for someone that doesn't like them too, and for me to go, okay, I'm interested now, maybe they should have done that earlier in the first couple of episodes instead of waiting so long.
Mm-hmm.
For me at least. But yeah, but I think that's what I miss is the, like this week was cool. It looks like next Friday is going to be dope because I think Joe actually goes back to his old.
Yes, I think he's going to step a window.
Which is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that these first, what are we on right now? The first 5 or 6 episodes.
5 more episodes left. That's it.
So maybe.
Really?
Yeah, maybe the next 5 will get knocked out the out the ballpark. That's what I'm hoping for. If not, I'm telling you, my gut's telling me that people are just like, as a whole, they're just like, it's a cool show, but it's not holding on to you.
Well, I want to say this, and I'm probably going to get slapped in the mouth for it, but if they can freaking renew Scream Queens, for God's sake, renew Sleepy Hollow, because you will hear me screaming from Seattle, believe me. I will probably hyperventilate and pass out. So.
Yeah, but Scream Queens is that young demo, you know? And what
I'm saying is they would have that same demo if they would just put them on freaking Jimmy Fallon once. People would at least check it out. Or, hello, how about this? The fact that they've been compared to freaking X-Files. Hello, how about using a promo of Sleepy Hollow during the X-Files? There was not one. They didn't even put the little thingy up in the corner. They had freaking Lucifer up all the time. Lucifer. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want to see Lucifer. I want to see Sleepy Hollow. What the hell? What is your problem? Ugh,
they had Lindy on Ridiculousness too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely turned a lot of people off.
Well, yeah, I know.
You did.
I feel like a lot of people are a little too sensitive about what that whole thing.
What thing? What thing?
They're talking about the fact. I mean, I'm sorry, but why in the hell is she being asked about Ichabod and Abby in the first place? She shouldn't be asked about that.
Okay, so he doesn't know what happened. So what happened was they did an interview, and right before the big Joni relationship happened, they asked her about Ichabod, and she said she thinks that they should be stable-tonic, that the relationship wouldn't work on TV, the whole, just totally deflated all of our, all prevalence, and she's just like, they should just remain friends because, and we were all just like, no! And the very next episode, she's kissing Joe. And we're like, really? Really?
I mean, I'm sorry. I just felt like it was.
And then after that, she said the same thing again. It's like, no, Lauren. Even Nikki Reed was like, no, I'm all team Ichabod. Even she got on. It's like, just don't crap on someone else's ship. That's all. That's all.
Thing right now. Say what you want to say, Darla.
Oh well, I mean. She should have just deflected the question back to her and her character and her character's relationship with Joe.
Yep.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
Instead of just shitting on the ship, which is exactly what she did. Now it's her opinion. It's her opinion, and she's not a writer.
Yeah,
but at the same time, some of her words carry weight. So because she said that, and then we saw what we saw. It definitely turned a lot of people off.
So, real quick, the Darla, do you think possibly, and because I didn't see this, could have Jenny's, the actress, whatever her name is, could have she been lying to kind of, like when Jon Snow with that whole the thing in Game of Thrones, when people were asking me, he's like, oh, he's dead. I mean, people were lying on purpose. She wasn't kind of lying?
They weren't asking her what it wasn't going to happen. They asked her what she thought about it.
Oh.
If they were asking her if it was going to happen, that's when you say, oh, don't know, have no idea, no wait and see. but they asked her opinion on it, and she said that it would ruin the friendship, that it would mess up their bond. You know, that was her opinion of it. But it would be rushed and all kinds of stuff that she was just like, stop talking, Lindy, please just stop.
But I think it was, she said that to just, I think they've all been trying to throw us off the scent. But we're not going to be thrown. That's the problem that they
that was a bad move when your next episode is going to be, your ship is going to be displayed in the next episode. You don't want to isolate a large chunk of the fandom that actually watches the interviews.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of what happened. And I try to put it out of my mind. I'm not, like, angry about Joni, but I'm just so neutral. I would have probably been more excited for it had that not happened. Now I'm just like, don't care. You know, it's hard to be supportive when she's not supportive in return. At least just say, wait and see, or I don't know. You know, she didn't have to say that. She could have deflected a number of other ways out of that. And the interviewers need to stop asking the other characters about someone else's character.
Michelle, did you want to say something?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, first of all, Jon Snow is still alive. Second of all,
Yes.
they've seen him in Ireland, okay? Not trying to spoil anything. But anyways, me personally, I don't think Lindy had the right to comment on Ickaby. I think she should have said, I'm not involved in that. I wanted you to ask me about, me and Joe's relationship. I think she should have just, or talked about something else or changed the subject. I don't think she should have answered the question.
All right. Well, I don't know. I just feel like it was an unfair question because it's not about her character.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I don't know. So overall, what did we think about Dark Mirror? Why don't we go down the line? Mike, you're our special guest. Why don't you start?
Overall, I thought it was cool. I definitely liked the funny thing is when I saw the commercial last week, I thought it was going to be the devil himself.
Yeah, me too.
And they got saying I'm the devil, and you're like, really?
But when they said that, I even said that in my last week's podcast. I was like, yes, the devil is coming to Sleepy Hollow. And then I see the Jersey Devil, and I'm like, that's not the same thing. But I enjoyed the creature. I enjoyed the devil. I liked his whole look. I liked his backstory. The episode, and I liked the episode just for the fact that I got to see a little bit of Pandora and the Hidden One's backstory. To me, this was a good episode, and I wish I would have seen this episode earlier because this whole time I've been sitting there going, I can't stand Pandora. I can't understand their story, and it's just dry. And it's just ruined for me. It's just kind of bringing the show down. But I've got my fingers crossed. These next 5 episodes are going to be. Next week, Joe goes back to his, and I love.
I can't wait to see it. It's going to be sad though if he. Oh man, I'm nervous about that. I gotta say. Lynn, go ahead. What?
Did Joe die?
No,
that can't happen.
Oh my god. No.
That would break up the love. Oh yes.
No,
we don't want Joe to die.
She's gonna.
Oh my gosh! Now, quick, knock on wood, somebody, because.
No, that would be so
awesome. Linda, what do you think about? What was your overall thoughts on it?
Well, I just have to piggyback and say you protected sex when you're doing it with a Wendigo, I tell you. But I enjoyed the episode. I always enjoy these episodes. I really do. I liked season 3. I love how they, went in and they gave, credence to the PTSD, arc. Yes, traumatic things happen. Even though we know that you're a badass, you're still gonna have some emotional scars. So I'm glad that they, that they talked about it. But I'm also glad that we didn't have episode after episode, like 7 episodes later, and Abby's still hiding stuff. No one's got time for that. We've got only 5 episodes left. We need to do, like this here. So I'm glad that she told Crane her kissing him on the head, like I said, that was just everything for me. So I really like that part about it. On the hidden one and Pandora's looking like she needed some makeup or something. I mean, looks like she's, her being human is really taking a toll.
Yeah,
so,
she's used to it.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, I want to see something happen in that, but between them, I want her to stab him in his sleep or something, I really do. Get your power back, girl. I really do. I'm like, I am so good. And I love Peter Menza. He is the absolute best. He's, I tell you, his tweets are so snarky. And with me being a snarky person, I love, tweeting with him. So that's pretty cool. I just wish that the only thing that would make this better, because I think that is going towards what we all want, as collective, I can see it could be on the horizon, so I love that. The only thing that would make this better is if they would just say, hey, oh, by the way, we got season 4, and that would be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I think so too. Michelle, what are your thoughts?
I enjoyed tonight's episode. Only thing that kind of bothered me a little is we didn't have Benjamin Franklin in the episode.
Yes, I would have liked to have seen him.
That's one thing that kind of threw me off. Is like, that's Benjamin Franklin's, foe or whatever, but he's not in the episode. I just found that kind of odd. But other than that, I really enjoyed the episode.
Yeah. Okay, Darla, what are your thoughts?
I really liked the episode tonight. It was really entertaining. It was very angsty.
Yes, it was.
There were several times that I got up and was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
I know.
And Abby's PTSD, the fact that she even asked Crane for help really touched me. That was good. Because that was really hard for her to do. She's not one to really ask for help and do things on her own. So the fact that she wants to lean on him for that.
Exactly.
Really was awesome.
Well, Alicia, what are your thoughts on tonight's episode?
Well, I love this episode. You guys know why I like this episode, because they said my lines pretty much. And I like that Nicole delivered my lines perfectly.
Yes.
She delivered my lines perfectly.
Verbatim.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I just want to clarify really quick. I was talking about promo with Lindy was on the show Ridiculousness. On MTV. Yeah, she was actually promoting the show. Yeah.
That's why it's ridiculous.
Yes, she was promoting the show on, if they had, Tom and Nicole on something like that, I think it would, kind of capture younger people, maybe.
Hello. I just say get it in front of the 18 to 49 demographic. I mean, people will latch onto it. People who like Supernatural, would watch it. I mean, obviously, look, Mike watches it. I watch it. I've been watching Supernatural since day one. I actually remember where I was. I remember where I was and what I was doing when I saw the pilot episode, and I was hooked. I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. Anyway, Tina, last but not least, what are your thoughts on tonight's episode?
I really enjoyed tonight's episode. It had all the weird, quirky supernatural that I want. It had the feels for sure. And Abby, oh my gosh, when she was dazing out and not saving Ichabod, it's it was the angst was definitely there. I'm glad that after she finally was I need help, and so yeah, it was good. It was good all around. I think the second half of the season has been really on point.
Yeah.
With the first half, every episode it was good then bad throughout the whole episode, and just not a solid episode where you can say I enjoyed 100% the whole thing. And I think that's been happening now. The second season, it's every episode I'm I love this episode. Next episode, I love this one too. Oh my goodness, what is happening? I think they're finally getting their mojo. Things are rolling now, and we just need to find out really get to the bottom of this hidden one in Pandora. I love the supernatural stuff, especially bringing in ancient gods. I'm so here for this right now. If we're not going to have Headless, you need to bring this. Bring it for real.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think too. I mean, I liked it overall. I need to rewatch it again because I need to really like pay attention to the cutest scenes ever from Ichabod.
Yes.
You know, I was like, I missed a little bit in the beginning anyway, but overall, I mean, I think it's definitely it's definitely going in the right direction, and I think it's only going to escalate from there. So I'm really anxious to see this season finale. I tell you that much. It's going to be epic. So that's it for this week of Hollow Hangout. I'm Chrissy, and we are all my Hollow Hangout gals. And thank you, Mike, for joining us as our special guest.
Thanks for having me. Cool.
Now you're going to have to go and talk about all this with Amy, who's going to be throwing up, I'm sure. She's gonna be but, you know, I'll be anxious to hear what you say. But anyway, thank you for supporting Sleepy Hollow, and we'll be back next week. Oh my gosh, for Into the Woods, episode 14, I guess it will be. So until next week, everyone, we're out of here. Bye.
Bye.